Our beautiful Clara loses everything she has, including her restaurant, all because of fake and evil friends. Jonathan is in a mess and Jonathan is finished, and this is as a result of evil friends. Welcome to another episode, guys. Like unexpected are happening. The only thing you can do for us to keep bringing out more episodes is to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment. A lot of things have happened and I will be sharing with you things that we didn't even see coming. Like this couple are finished all because of evil friends and not being able to identify them. So guys, stay tuned as I take you through everything that happened in today's episode. At this moment, I'm not even happy. Today's episode is not even one you miss or skip for anything, because there are a lot for us to learn and see. So guys, today's episode started with Emeka and Debbie finally succeeded. And what did they succeed with? Guys, as Debbie watched inside her car why this guy, the manager of that hotel where everything happened, was coming out, I think from a shopping mall, and some guys came and they took him away. Why Debbie sat inside the car watching everything. Now, they took this guy, the guy was shouting for help. They took him inside the uncompleted building, guys, guess what? And they ended this guy. Now, when they finished, they left and came back to Debbie, telling Debbie that, Madam, everything is done. Everything is done the way you want. In fact, we even conducted a burial 12 feet below. And Debbie was like, how can you say you buried him just 12 feet below in just few minutes now? And they said that it was even yesterday they came and dug the grave, so it was easy for them. And Debbie now paid them money and they were so happy. They told Debbie that if anything comes up, they should tell them and they will come and finish it. Now, I think they lied because they only, bam to the guy. They did not, bury him like they said. So I think they lied. So there might be chances that that guy is still alive, but they don't know. When I tell you that Debbie and Emeka will pay for everything that they have done. So guys, after that, Debbie immediately went to Emeka to tell Emeka what has happened, that they have finally done it. Emeka asked Debbie what did she do, and Debbie told Emeka that the manager guy is gone forever and he will not be seen. So no manager, nobody will trace them. And Emeka was so happy. And Debbie now asked Emeka, what is the next move? And Emeka said, the restaurant. And at first, Debbie was like, restaurant. And Emeka asked him, do you have two friends that have restaurants? Is it not just Clara? And Debbie now asked Emeka, why so soon? Why do you want the restaurant to go? And Emeka said, for the slap that Clara gave him. That's the day he went there to go and insult this girl and frustrate her in her restaurant. For that slap that Clara will beg, that he is not going to stop until he destroys Clara, that he feels like it's that restaurant that is making Clara's head to, grow, her shoulder high, so that they're going to destroy and end that restaurant. And Debbie was like, you actually want this girl to go to leave this world? And Emeka said, no, I don't want her to leave this world, but I want her to be in this life, suffering, begging, and nobody will come to her rescue. I want to see her crawling, begging me for food, and she will not get any food. And what's the name? Debbie now said, exactly. I think what you want is the case of, what's this man in the Bible, Job. And Emeka said, no, Job actually got help. And Debbie now said, you want the Clara's case to be like the case of Lazarus in the Bible that did not get any help until he left this world. Can you see how wicked somebody that called herself somebody's friend? This is telling you, watch closely. People around you that are smiling. It's not everybody that is smiling, that are happy with you. There are good friends, but I want to tell you, there are terrible and evil friends. And guys, they continue, talking about how they are going to finish Clara and then leaving Jonathan to wallow in being useless. In fact, guys, after that, what's the name? The personal investigator or private investigator went to Hank's office to tell Hanks what has happened. He told Hanks that the manager guy is missing. And Hans was like, are you serious? Are you sure he did not purposely do this so that he will dodge the arrest and frustrate the investigation going on? And the private investigator was like, no, they have not seen him for 1 week. In fact, according to the police, his car was seen in the middle of nowhere, open, his phones, personal articles was there. So it seems like he was taken away by some people. And Hans was like, this must be a serious, issue. And the guy said yes. And let me tell you something. The people that did this actually did this to cover up something. In fact, I'm thinking that they are doing it so that this guy will not expose. And Hans was, are you trying to say it's a coincidence with what happened to me? And the guy said, yes, exactly what I'm thinking. They did this so that they cannot trace them. That was why they did this to the guy. And the guy actually told Hans that you are the target, because Hans asked him, is the little girl the target? And the guy said, no, you are the target, and Clara is also the target. They are after you. Actually, at this point, everybody is the target. They are coming for you all. So, guys, Hanks now asked the private investigator, are you sure Jonathan is not behind all these things? And the guy laughed and said, Jonathan doesn't have money. This thing that just happened, a lot of money was put in it. So for this thing to, be successful, it needed a lot of money. And Jonathan doesn't have the money, doesn't have the muscle, doesn't even have the brain to do it. So it is not Jonathan. And if it was Jonathan would have not been in the scene. He would have sat at the background and laughed at you. And the guy Hans was like, that's true. The guy now went ahead to tell Mr. Hanks that what I want you to do now is to lie low. Lie low. I have sent some men to watch you. You might not know, but they are watching you and they are everywhere. Lie low. Why we do this thing? Because at this point, it is getting more dirty, more dangerous, and something needs to be done fast. At this point, even Hanks is actually worried because this people has graduated. He's no more doing evil, but now taking people's life. Whenever people come to that level, see, it is finished. They can do anything. At this point, nobody is safe. An August visitor landed in Jonathan's house, and guess who is that August visitor? It was the landlord. So the landlord came in, and Benny welcomed the landlord, and they were greeting. The landlord was asking her, how are you? Hope you are going to school. How is your parents? How is everybody? And they exchange greeting. And the landlord asked to see Jonathan. And the girl went up to call the father while the landlord sat in the living room waiting for Jonathan. As Jonathan was coming down, the landlord greeted, Mr. Jonathan. And Jonathan said, why are you here, Mr. whatever your name is? And the landlord said to Jonathan, it's important to at least, first of all, greet somebody before interrogating them. And Jonathan was like, Mr. Landlord, there is nothing to greet you about, because every time you come here, you bring in bad news. So there is nothing to talk about. And the landlord went straight to the point to tell Jonathan, it is time for you to leave my house. And Jonathan was like, what? I still have like 7 months rent that is still going. Why would I leave your house? And the landlord handed him an envelope. While Jonathan looked at it, it was an eviction letter for Jonathan to leave the house in 3 months. And Jonathan was like, it's not going to be possible because I still have like 7 months. And I was even thinking, but why would the landlord want him, since there is the rent is still going? And the landlord said that since Clara left this house, Jonathan has not been paying anything in the estate. The estate people are tired because of Jonathan. Jonathan doesn't pay for security, light, water, dustbin, anything they are paying. Jonathan has been owing. Jonathan has been disturbing, and the estate people have been calling the landlord, your tenant is a problem to us. He doesn't comply. He doesn't pay anything. So according to the landlord, he is tired, and he told Jonathan he cannot continue receiving such call from the estate, and he has decided for you to leave this house. But do not worry, Jonathan. The money that is left after that 3 months, I'm going to balance you. Just leave my house. And Jonathan was like, you cannot. You can. And the landlord reminded him, do not even bother yourself, because I'm not even going to give you direct that money. It's your wife that I'm going to balance, because your wife is the person that paid for this house rent. So I won't even give you back the money. If I'm returning the money, I'm returning it to your wife. Jonathan, if after 3 months you refuse to leave my house, I will use the law against you. You have to leave my house. At this point, Jonathan is finished. Nke Jonathan, but Jonathan is gone, and the landlord just made his point and left while Jonathan was there. For Jonathan, because at the beginning, Jonathan asked the daughter to go upstairs to her room so that she will not hear how failure of a father that steals from the daughter. So Jonathan was thinking that the girl was upstairs. When Jonathan looked up, he saw the girl on the staircase listening for everything. And Jonathan got angry. I thought I told you to leave this place. What? And the girl quietly left. Jonathan, you are a failure. You don't even need to cover anything. You that stole money from your daughter. What else? I don't understand. You are finished. So guys, after that, what do you think? First of all, what do you think about this quick notice? Do you think it's legal? Do you think it was okay? Do you think the landlord has a real, hold, legal right to inject Jonathan out of that house since he was not paying everything? Do you think what he did was right? Leave it in the comment section. So guys, after that, guess what? Emeka now came over to Jonathan's house while Jonathan was telling him, Emeka, a lot of things has been going on. The landlord has asked me to leave the house. And Emeka was like, why would that landlord ask you to leave this house? But you still have money. And he told him that, I don't know at this point. And Emeka, do you know what Emeka advised Jonathan? That if I was the one, I would have beaten him. And Jonathan was just looking at him, beating him. Would that solve the problem? And Emeka said, that's for you. If it's me, before I will leave his house, I will give him a mark that he will use the next money he will get to treat himself. Emeka is after Jonathan getting in trouble 24 hours. That is what he enjoys doing. And because Jonathan doesn't have a brain, Jonathan will keep on doing it. And Jonathan told Emeka that at this point, I barely feed myself and my daughter. So getting myself into trouble, the man will come and arrest me after fighting him. Who will bail me? Is that you? Immediately he got to that one. Emeka was like, let's leave it, let's move on. But Jonathan, do you know it is your fault? And Jonathan asked him, how is it my fault? Emeka now told him, I want you not to pursue your wife, not to throw your wife away. And Jonathan was like, Emeka, stay one place now. What is wrong with you? You are the person that asked me, that pushed me to push my wife away. That if I don't push my wife away, my wife will end my life. What are you now saying? What are you now saying, guys? Emeka is really out to destroy Jonathan. And because Jonathan doesn't have brain, Emeka is always succeeding. And Emeka now said, okay. But now you can actually go and bring back your wife. For your wife to come back and start paying the house rent. But before then, there is something I will advise you to do. And what is it? I will advise you to go and destroy and finish that restaurant. And Emeka was like, how? And Jonathan was like, how? My wife doesn't even want me to come inside that restaurant to do anything. And Emeka has told Jonathan that if you do it, you will succeed in bringing your wife home, making her to mellow and respect you. Because that restaurant and the men around her are what is making her shoulder high, making her head to blow. But if you destroy and finish that restaurant, her head will come down and she will come into this house to start life with you again. Imagine. Now, Emeka and Debbie has planned to, destroy that restaurant. But at this point, they now want Jonathan to get involved. You see how terrible people that call themselves. See, have spirits to identify people that are around you. Have the eyes to know people that are, don't be too you trust people so much, you share everything, that they're destroying you and you don't even know. After watching this movie and you are still falling victim in such, I don't even know what to say to you. So Jonathan told Emeka that at this point he's not even interested in all this. He just wants to get job and get the confidence of the daughter back. That's the only thing. And Emeka now told him that, see, people that you think they are your friends, they are not your friends. Imagine your friend, Kennedy. His organization just recruited a lot of guys and he gave a lot of guys work and he did not even care to tell you or help you. And Jonathan was, are you serious? What? And he called himself my friend. If you see how Jonathan got angry, I'm like, somebody that you don't even take advice from, how will you now expect him to call you and give you a job? And at first, Jonathan wanted to doubt it, but Emeka said, call him now, call him, because he's pushing him for him to keep having problem with Kennedy, so that Kennedy at his dying point or where problem of his life, Kennedy will not be there, because Emeka knows that Kennedy is the only true friend that Jonathan has. And immediately Jonathan got angry, picked his phone, about to make the call. Why Emeka started speaking in his heart. Oga, I'm not even done with you. By the time I'm done with you, I will isolate you from everybody that matter to you, so that when you are leaving this world in pain, nobody will be there to help you. I will be the only person there laughing and enjoying while you leave this world. Guys, you see the evil of men. So all these things is because I have a friend. Is it not, at this point, is it not better to be friendless than to having friends that are destroying you while they are smiling at you? I hope we are learning from this. Now, the game just started. And what is the game? Ending Clara's shop. Are they going to succeed? Will Clara lose her restaurant that she has suffered everything for? Watch out for the next one to find out. Something big is coming. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. For now, bye.